Welcome to our second problem of continuous beams to be analyzed by moment distribution method. In last lecture, in first problem, we tried to understand the basic principle, the basic methodology, that how we are restraining the joints, how we are observing imbalanced movements, how we are trying to balance those movements, and then how iterations eventually give us balance. Actually, that problem was very simple, and in one or two steps itself we got apparently clearly the balance and we had to stop our analysis. Now this problem is a bit more involved, and you will observe that apparently the balance is not observed, but because of iterations, if you check the summations, you are gradually converging to the balance at the joint, to the equilibrium at the joint, and that is the beauty of this mind-blowing method, moment distribution method. So let's see our problem. We have a continuous beam ABC. Support A is a fixed support. Support B and support C are roller supports, but support B is interior roller and support C is exterior roller. Now the moment I say that this is an exterior roller, it is obvious that M of CB is going to be 0, because bending moment at the exterior hinge or exterior roller is going to be 0. So let's see if eventually when we finish our problem we get M of CB as 0 or not, and of course we will be getting it. Span AB 4 meters loaded by 20 kilonewton point load exactly at mid span. Span BC loaded on throughout the span by 8 kilonewton per meter uniformly distributed load. The span is 5 meters. So with this we start our analysis. Obviously degree of kinematic indeterminacy is 2, that is your theta B and theta C are unknown, whereas delta B, delta C, delta A and theta A, all of these are zeros. So we start the analysis with parameter calculations. That is my step 1, parameter calculations. Now which are the parameters? Obviously we need stiffnesses. From stiffnesses we are able to calculate distribution factors, and of course as a first step, when we restrain the joints, we require moments created by loads on the span, what we call as fixed end moments. So that is what I am writing. The first step I am calculating using standard formulae fixed end moments for span AB. I have shown the restrained joints here. This is M of AB, this is M of BA, and we know the standard expression is PL upon 8. So on substitution, I am getting 10 kilonewton meter, and which is same as negative of M of BA. What I mean to say that this is anti-clockwise 10, this is clockwise 10, so we will be substituting it as negative. And then MFBC, that also I have shown here, and MFCB, again because of symmetry both are equal and opposite, the standard expression being WL squared by 12, I am getting 16.67 kilonewton meter, and which is negative of, means the sign is opposite or sense is opposite, negative of MFCB. So very simple first step calculations. These diagrams you may or may not draw, but I will suggest that you draw so that you don't make a confusion in sign, like which is anti-clockwise, which is clockwise, which is positive, which is negative. What you are observing in drawing is mechanics, and you don't have to visualize it or you don't have to search for it in your imagination. You draw it, you see that the movements are like this is anti-clockwise, this is clockwise, so accordingly you can write very correctly, and it takes 1 minute. You are not going to use different colors and you are not going to beautify your answer paper, that is not expected. With the same pen, quickly you are developing all these drawings. Second parameter, stiffness factor or rotational stiffness, which we are aware is 4 EI by L. when the far end is assumed to be fixed and near end is having facility of rotation, that is hinge. So K of AB is equal to K of BA. It is obvious, but I am writing this as a formality because later on when I try to calculate distribution factor, I don't get confused AB or BA, what to substitute. So K of AB, K of BA, stiffness for a member is 4EI upon L, and that is EI 4. The first span is 4 meters, so 4 will get cancelled. I get 1 EI. KBC, that is stiffness of member BC. Since the span is 5 meters, it's going to be 4 EI upon 5, which will be 0.8 times EI. Then I go for distribution factor calculation, a parameter extremely important for our moment distribution method. So I write distribution factor AB, means for member AB at joint A, and that I have written as stiffness of AB divided by sigma stiffnesses at A. That is sum of stiffnesses of all the members meeting at A. Now yesterday we discussed this, that if you look at joint A, there is the member AB and there is the rigid wall, and that rigid wall has infinite stiffness. So I am substituting K of AB, which is some finite quantity 1 times EI, but denominator becomes infinity, so my calculation eventual value is extremely small, that is 0. Practically extremely small, theoretically 0. Same way, something very interesting is happening at joint C, and we are seeing it for the first time in moment distribution method. See, joint C is an exterior roller. How is the roller design? You have the rollers at the base, that is fine, but on the top of the rollers is mounted a hinge. If you observe this diagram carefully, at the top there is a pin shown or there is a hinge shown. So the difference in hinge support and roller support is only that at the top both are having hinge, both are having a cylindrical pin about which rotation is possible. Only the hinge support is rigidly fixed into base, whereas roller support is mounted over sliding rollers or rolling rollers. So if I have a hinge here, if I have a facility of rotation here, it is obvious that if I apply any moment at C, no part of that moment will be transmitted to the supporting base, to the supporting column. The entire moment, the entire resistance to that moment has to come from member BC. In other words, when I think of sigma stiffnesses at C point, and that is what we are getting here, distribution factor for member CB, I have written stiffness of member CB divided by sigma stiffness at C point. Try to understand, because of that pin, the supporting base stiffness is meaningless. It is not going to contribute into the moment resistance of that joint at all. Try to understand, this is a fixed joint, this is an interior hinge joint, and this is an exterior hinge or roller joint. So whatever moment I try to apply at this joint, it will be absorbed entirely by member BC. The supporting base which is below those rollers, its stiffness is not going to contribute. So stiffness of CB is K times CB, and stiffness of this base is 0, its contribution is 0. So what do I get here? K of CB numerator as it is, and sigma K at C is going to be K of CB plus 0, means K of CB. So numerator denominator will cancel out, and I am simply going to get 1 as my answer. So see, these two very interesting cases I have written first. When you come across a fixed joint, the distribution factor for that connected member is 0, because fixed joint will absorb total moment. It will not give any share to the connected moment. Whereas diametrically opposite, exactly the opposite case, when you come across an exterior roller or exterior hinge joint, that supporting base is not contributing into the moment resistance at all, into the stiffness at all. So entire moment that you apply at that joint is absorbed by that member. So my AB doesn't absorb any moment applied at A, and my CB absorbs 100% moment applied at C. That is why this is 0 and this is 1. Your distribution factor is 1 for the exterior hinge or roller support, 0 when you have a fixed support. And now we come to the interior hinge or interior roller support, where you have the continuity of that stiff beam, rigid beam material. That's why you have some kind of distribution, some kind of sharing in the absorption of the applied moment. So I am writing distribution factor for BA. That means we are thinking about this particular beam at joint B. If I apply the moment, how much will be absorbed by member BA? So I am writing distribution factor BA is stiffness of BA upon stiffness of all the members meeting at joint B. Now this is also interesting. Try to understand. If you look at carefully the B point, theoretically there are 3 members meeting. Member BA, member BC, and even supporting column at B point. But again, because of that roller, because of that pin, the stiffness of supporting column, it is not rigidly jointed the way we observe in a portal frame problem. It is not rigidly jointed like in frames. It is supporting through the medium of roller, through the medium of pin. So if that is the case, its stiffness is not contributing. So when I think of sigma K at B, that stiffness is 0. It is not contributing. So I simply get K of BA upon stiffness of BA plus stiffness of BC. That is what I have written, 1 times EI plus 0.8 times EI. EI common factor I have taken outside. Inside it is 1 plus 0.8, and that is giving me 0.56. Means if I apply any moment at joint B, 56% will be absorbed by BA, 44% remaining 100 minus 56 that will be absorbed by BC, and of course the supporting column, this particular base, is not going to absorb any moment. It is between the beams only. So my last calculation here, distribution factor for member BC, that is this particular member, and at joint B we are discussing. So I am writing stiffness of BC upon sigma stiffnesses at B point. Stiffness of BC we have calculated as 0.8 EI, 4 EI by L, standard expression. So 0.8 EI upon denominator is as it is, 1.8 times EI, 1 plus 0.8. So that is 1.8 times EI, and as expected it is 100 minus 56, that is 44% or 0.44. Now once we have fixed end moments, stiffnesses and distribution factors in place, we are ready to plunge into the moment distribution table. Just a couple of interesting calculations, couple of interesting steps, and you get the answer. So as I said last lecture also, it's a miracle or it's a magic, and such a fantastic thinking of Professor Hardy-Cross to develop an iterative method like this. So let's see what do we have here. Step 2, I am writing MD table, that is moment distribution table. I start with my first row, that is joint. Initially we are just compiling the data, putting it together. So joint A, B and C. Below that, members. We are discussing members because AB and BA, when it comes to end moments, are different. As a span, as a member it's same, but M of AB, M of BA are different ideas. So I am writing at A member AB, at B member BA and BC, at C member CB. See the way even those lines are drawn. On the left of A, there is just a rigid wall, as you are observing here. So my vertical line has gone on the left of A above.
This second vertical line I have started from my alphabet B, exactly below B, because I am going to have BA and BC. Whereas again after C, since there is no member, since there is no continuity in the B, my last vertical line has covered C. On the right side it has completed its length up to the top. Small point, childish point, but when you follow these instructions, you don't get confused at any point. And then I have member CB here and nothing to write on the right side of that CB. So joint member, then I draw one line. That is my notations are over. What else do I want to note? I want to most importantly make a note of distribution factors. So for AB I have written 0, for BA I have written 0.56, for BC I have written 0.44, and for CB I have written 1, Y0, Y1, Y.56, Y.44, all these we discussed thoroughly. So those distribution factors I have written, I have deliberately highlighted them with a yellow colored chalk so that when I start summing up, I don't make a mistake of counting that figure also. This is not a movement so that I am going to add this movement to my calculation. No. So I am using different colored chalk. Sometimes students do like this. They make small rectangles. In some books also you will find done like this for the same reason that it remains highlighted, it remains different, and you don't count it while you are taking the sum at the end. We are going to come to that step later on. So I have separated my distribution factors, and then the first thing I am noting is fixed end moments. Where from fixed end moment concept is coming? So as I told you that Professor Hardy Cross suggested that you restrain all the joints and see if the balance is there, which won't of course be there. I mean, it is possible that this load and this load are loading is such and spans are such that you coincidentally get these figures as equal and opposite, in which case your analysis is as good as over. But usually it won't happen like that. So we are observing that when I restrain all the joints, my movements are anti-clockwise 10, clockwise 10, anti-clockwise 16.67 and clockwise 16.67. So if I focus upon this particular joint, I observe that it should have been minus 10 plus 10 or minus 16.67 plus 16.67, but it is not happening like that. So this is not reflecting a correct equilibrium situation. The two movements M of BA and M of BC have to be equal and opposite, but there is an imbalance. How much is the imbalance? Obviously minus 10 plus 16.67, that is there is an imbalance of 6.67. I hope you all have calculators, pen and paper, otherwise this will just mean nothing to us. So do calculate, be with me in writing, in calculations. If I am going too fast, please pause the video and then resume when you have understood and when you got the same answer. So as I was saying, there is an imbalance of minus 10 plus 16 means 6.67. Positive 6.67. So what will I do? To nullify positive 6.67, I apply negative 6.67 means clockwise 6.67. That application I have not shown in the table, but that application, similar application last time I had shown in my diagram and I had also shown in the table in a rectangle. So I repeat, imbalance of plus 6.67 to countermand I am applying negative 6.67. Now what will happen when I apply negative 6.67 at joint B? It will get distributed in member BA and member BC in proportion of distribution factors 56% and 44%. So that is what I have written here. You may be wondering that where from this 3.73 negative is coming. So the logic is this, there is an imbalance of plus 6.67. Let me write here, imbalance of plus 6.67. I don't like these imbalances, so what do? I apply negative 6.67. All this is happening at joint B. Now what will happen to this negative 6.67? In left side member, that is BA, it will get distributed as 56%. In the right side member, that is your BC, it is going to get distributed as 44% of 6.67. Negative 6.67 clockwise. So minus 6.67 into 0.56, that is what I have written as negative 3.73. And negative 6.67 into 0.44, that is what I have written as minus 2.94. So that is about joint B. Similarly, since here I have minus 16.67, I apply 16.67 because I don't like that imbalance. What has happened? I apply 16.67, but distribution factor of CB is 1. That is, whatever moment I apply at this joint, C joint, entirely it will be absorbed by member CB, so that this is negative 16.67. I apply positive 16.67 into 1. It is completely absorbed by member CB as positive 16.67. There is no division like this much percent and that much percent. Same thing is happening, or similar thing, but quite in opposite sense is happening at A joint. At A joint I have 10. So I apply negative 10 because I want to have a balance. So if I apply negative 10, now what is happening? Distribution factor for AB is 0, means when I try to apply clockwise 10 here, the wall entirely absorbs it, leaving no movement for distribution to member AB, connected member AB. So negative 10 multiplied by 0 gives me 0. So when I start with my first cycle, my entries are minus 3.73, minus 2.94, plus 16.67 and 0. Great. Moments have got distributed. What will happen to them? They will be carried over to the other ends. Whatever I apply at B, partly it will go to A, partly it will go to C. Whatever I apply at C, partly it will come to B. Whatever I apply at A, partly it will come to B. That is carried over moments. And we know carryover factor is 1/2. So that is what my next step is showing. These were fixed end moments. Because of the imbalance, I tried to achieve balance and I have distributed the moments in proportion of distribution factor. Now these moments get carried over to the other end. So of minus 3.73, half the moment comes to joint A. Of 0, half the moment goes to joint B, means 0. So this is minus 3.73. Half of that, minus 1.86. Same thing will happen in the other column. Column means column of the table, not column of the structure. So half of this will go here, half of this will come here. Okay. You need not show these arrows. You may show them, but understanding is very important. Now I have negative 1.86, 0, positive 8.335 and negative 1.47. Do I see a balance here? Do I see M of BA same as M of BC? Of course not. So that means I need to balance. So my cycle 1 is over. And I am not finding apparently any balance. So 8.335 minus 0 means 8.335. So there is imbalance of positive 8.335. I don't like it. So what do? I apply negative 8.335. When I apply negative 8.335 at joint B, what will happen? it will get distributed as 0.56 times 8.33 and 0.44 times 8.33 negative. That is precisely what my next calculation is showing. This figure minus 4.67 is nothing but negative 8.335 multiplied by 0.56. And that is why I insist that you should have understood this logically. Here the difference is positive 8. Then why do I write minus 8 into something? Because we are trying to balance that joint. If you forget this, you are likely to make a mistake in exam. So your thinking while solving the problem should always be like this, that this difference is positive 8.335. I am applying negative 8.335. That is getting distributed as 0.56 multiplied by applied moment, 0.44 multiplied by applied moment. So I get here negative 4.67, negative 3.66. Same thing happens here. This is negative 1.47. So to balance it, I apply positive 1.47. How much is distributed in the member? Positive 1.47 into 1. So that is 1.47. And here this is negative 1.86. To balance it, I impose positive 1.86, but completely it will be absorbed by the exterior wall and zero distribution for member AB. So 0 multiplied by 1.86 will again give me 0. So these are my moments, distributed moments. What do I do, or what happens actually? Half of this will be carried over. So half of 0 carried over to joint B, half of negative 4.67 at B coming to A. Whatever is absorbed here, going here. Whatever is absorbed here, going here. That's all. 56%, half of that. 44%, half of that. So in the same way, half of this is going here and half of this is coming here. So now I have 0, 0.735 minus 2.33 minus 1.83 and my cycle 2 is over. Again, there is an imbalance of 0.735. So I apply negative 0.735. It gets distributed as negative 0.735 into 0.56 and negative 0.735 into 0.44. Those values are negative 0.41, negative 0.32. Please check. Actually calculate. This is positive or this difference is positive, so I apply negative and it gets distributed as 56% and 44%. Similarly, this is negative 1.83, I apply 1.83, it is completely getting absorbed by CB. This is negative 2.33, I apply 2.33, but it is totally going into the wall and I am getting 0. Distribution factor is 0. These are my moments. Distributed moments. Distributed as per distribution factors. What will happen to them? They will be carried over to the other end as half the moments. So half of minus 0.41 is minus 205, half of 0 is 0, half of minus 0.32 is minus 0.16, half of 1.83 is 0.915. And then once my cycle 3 is over, I will again distribute these moments and I will check if I have arrived at any acceptably accurate solution. I repeat, usually for the kind of problems we are going to solve in exam, 3 to 4 cycles of iteration are sufficient. Practically, in reality, building frames are quite complex. Actually, there is a 3D analysis, not just 2D analysis. And there you require several iterations. Depending upon complexity of the building, your supercomputer will probably do lakhs of iterations and eventually arrive at acceptably accurate answer. But in exam, at our level, since we need to know the method and the technique of solving, that's all. later on we are anyway going for softwares when you go to some industry for your jobs. So just to know the methods, we will be having 3 to 4 cycles, not more. So after completing 3 cycles, I am distributing the moments and I am just checking whether my answer is reached, converged or not. So this difference is of 0.915. So I apply negative 0.915. It gets distributed as negative 0.915 multiplied by 0.56, that is negative 0.51, and negative 0.915 multiplied by 0.44, that is approximately minus 0.4 or negative 0.4. This is negative 0.16, so I apply positive 0.16. It is absorbed fully by that member CB because distribution factor is 1. And this is negative 0.205, so I apply 0.205, however distribution factor is 0, I get 0. I have distributed these moments after my 3rd cycle, and now whether to stop here or not, I have to decide by just adding these moments and these moments. And this is where I was saying that you are likely to add this figure also. So be careful about it, keep it separate, highlight it, it's different. So what do? I start with minus 10, minus 3.73, minus 4.67, minus 0.41, minus 0.51. These are all zeros, otherwise I would have added them also. All this summation comes out to be negative 19.32. You try it actually. This is not a magic show. I mean, it is magic show by Professor Hardy Cross, not by me. So you actually calculate all this, you will get negative 19.32, and then you add at the same joint B. See, what we are knowing is for the balance of joint B, M of B and M of BC should be equal and opposite. So that is what we are trying to check, whether it is really happening like that or not. So not considering or including this particular figure, be careful about that. 16.67 minus 2.94 plus 8.335 minus plus minus plus minus up to these last distributed moments, you add all these figures, you are getting 19.33, negative 19.32, positive 19.33. The error is extremely small. And perhaps if you do 2-3 more iterations, then also it may not vanish, or you may simply say that these two are equal. If this were minus 19.326 or something, I don't remember now exactly what was that figure, I might have written this as minus 19.33, and that much accuracy is definitely acceptable. So what do I see? After 3 cycles, when I distribute my moments, I have arrived at M of BA is equal to M of BC, equal and opposite. Is equal to means M of BA is equal to minus of M of BC. So that's it. The joint is balanced by a process of iteration. We are freezing the joint, checking the moments, applying the opposite of imbalance moment, distributing it, carrying over it. Again freezing it, again checking what is happening, imbalance is observed, try to balance it, distribute it, let it be carried over to the other end. This is an iterative process, and after 3 cycles, when I just on my calculator check the summation, I see that these two are acceptably close, so my analysis is over. Now these two values I have found, so what else? I will add these. So it is 10 minus 1.86 minus 2.33 minus 205, and you are going to get something like 5.6. When you add these, this will yield 0. And it has to yield 0 because this is an exterior roller support. In the very beginning we had made an observation that M of CB has to be 0. So yes, it is giving 0. So whatever our logic we are applying, that distribution factor should be 1, and this supporting base is not at all contributing into the absorption of movement, that logic is correct, and so that's why we expected M of CB to be 0, we are getting M of CB to be 0. So that's it. What is left now? With these end moments, you will first draw, suppose FBD is only for end moments to understand sagging, hogging, things like that. Then you have span loaded with point load and UDL. Standard expressions are known to you for bending moments, so just go for bending moment diagram. Superposition of end moments and span moments, you are getting your BMD, and this is a continuous beam analyzed using moment distribution method. So as a last step, we will be drawing BMD now, bending moment diagram. I hope you are following this logic. You have to, as a student, understand both the things. What is the methodology and what is the technique? That means how to solve and what you are doing. If both these things are very clear, you should not have any problem in facing Viva or in facing theory paper. Not only that, you will start loving structures. Because there is so much logic in this, there is so much knowledge in this, that you will start loving structures. Maybe if you start liking it, if your orientation is analytical and mathematical, you can go for structural subjects as elective subjects. Your projects could be from structural side, and as a career also it's very rewarding if you are a structural consultant or structural engineer. So let's draw bending moment diagram. So here is half complete FBD, half complete in the sense end shears I am not showing because I don't need them while plotting the bending moment diagram by superposition. So our answers were positive 5.6 means anti-clockwise 5.6, negative 19.32, so clockwise 19.32, positive 19.32, so anti-clockwise, and finally of course 0. Obviously these two movements are hogging, this is also hogging, so I started with negative 5.6, negative 19.32 and 0, and I have developed these joint movements, hogging movements diagram. And then using standard result for a point load at the mid span and for a UDL over the entire span, point load, so I am drawing linear variation, my final value is 20, and UDL, so it is parabolic variation, my maximum value, the maxima of the parabola is giving me the value of 25, bending moment value. So this is my bending moment diagram using superposition, and this is a complete continuous beam problem using moment distribution method. So a few more problems we will be solving which will involve sinking of support, some variety like this, a longer beam, slightly more long beam, so that the analysis would be, or the table would be more involved. And now mind you, I will not be going into that restrain the joint, apply the moment, balance the moment, all this. I may not have the time to repeat this in next problems. So we will be focusing mainly upon the technique of problem solving. But as and when you have a doubt as to why we are doing all this, you can always go back to my previous lecture and this lecture, so that your fundamentals will remain